Being Apple fans? John finally joined us, so now we're here with you. So we're back again. Now we're going to be back to twice a week, which I'm excited about because
What?
once a week is not enough. I'm having like withdrawals by like Friday afternoon. I'm just like, I need my Bean Apple guys. So we're going to start off today with our NFL divisional round previews, just like we did last year. So we're back for year 2. It's kind of nice to actually say like now we're back into now we're into the second year of it, which is pretty exciting. So we're starting out with the NFC West, which as I was doing my homework on this, found it very, very difficult. Like last year we had some clear no-brainers, who was in first, who was in last. But this one, man, I went over again and again and again and kept changing wins and losses and adjusting things, and I found this very, very difficult to do, but I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to see what you guys have, and I really want to hear in the comments below how you guys have it stacked and who you think the closest one of us is going to be when the season shakes out. So drop your comments below. Also hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, set it to all. Come back and join us every single time because we are going to go through every division and break them all down. So with that, let's have some fun.
Welcome to the Bean Apple Podcast.
Belichick. I mean, I text him all the time. He just doesn't answer.
Somehow got mono. God knows who he was making out with.
Somebody had given me 2 tickets to a check-in, and I had to run into a store. Came out, they broke my window, and they left 4 more tickets.
All right. So, NFC West, right? Very, very, very competitive division. So, I guess traditionally, I'll just continue to start things off. You want to do it that way?
Sure.
All right. So we'll run through it. I don't want to beat around the bush too much. So, let's dive right in. So, I'll start with Arizona. So for me, the big additions, obviously, J.J. Watt. Jim, you love AJ Green. That's to be seen. What he's got left. That could be a huge signing. It could be absolutely nothing, right? Malcolm Butler.
True.
Malcolm Butler they brought in to replace Patrick Peterson, who's had a terrible year last year. So as much as I think he's a little overrated, it might be an upgrade over Patrick Peterson, what he had. And then James Conner, nice running back, nothing to get too crazy about. But their big addition to me, this is going to sound funny, but it's Matt Prater. So that to me is really big. And it's big because they lost 3 games by a field goal last year. If they had won those games, they would have been a playoff team. So they're bringing in a kicker, and he's been really good in Denver for a number of years. I mean, just crushing kicks. So that's going to be a big thing. I really like what they did in the draft with Zaven Collins, boosting that defense a little bit and bringing in Rondell Moore, who I feel like is going to be an elite wide receiver. He is going to be really, really good. So I love that with Hopkins on one side, and he's going to quickly elevate into the ones, I think. So they lost Patrick Peterson, like I said, but this team got better on defense. It got much better on special teams, and they drafted 2 at the top. Really, really nice playmakers on each side of the ball. So I'm going to save my final win-loss total for the end, so I don't spoil it as we go. So you guys, you want me to run all the way through it, or do you want to go team by team?
If you want to just go, I'd say bottom to top. Yeah, I'd say bottom to top. So I didn't put win totals there. I just put who I thought was going to win the division, to be quite honest. But, I mean, however you guys do it, that's fine. I know we talked a little bit, a few different ways on how to do it, but I didn't specifically put wins down, to be quite honest.
So Joe, why don't you go through? 4, 3, 2, 1, right?
Well, I'm not going to go in any order. I'll just go in the way that I have it, which it isn't in. It's just the way that I research the teams, and then I put a record for each one. So, I could run through it. Then you guys can just kind of piggyback or highlight anything that I miss or anything that you like, if that works. So, all right. So second, I looked at the Rams. So this is a team that, like last year, I think all of us kind of didn't know what to make of this team, right? Like I think we all had them coming in 4th place. if I remember right. And maybe Arizona was down there as well in some of these. But we didn't see them being as good as they were last year. That defense was lights out. The offense was kind of in the middle there, but the defense just carried them. But this year, all they did was added Deshaun Jackson, which you're going to get 2 good games out of, and then he'll get hurt. Like I said, they're both going to be Monday night games. He's going to put up 200 yards, and the rest of it will disappear. Obviously, Matt Stafford's the big signing that's going to make a difference. I just personally don't believe in Matt Stafford. He likes to throw the ball, but he throws a lot of interceptions, and it's not all on the wide receivers. So I know he's getting a lot of hype, like this is something huge, but I don't see it personally, and I'll see what you guys say when you get around to it, but I just don't see Matt Stafford being this great quarterback. He's had years to show it. I know he's been on the Lions, but that doesn't excuse him throwing to defenders. So when we get to who they lost Leonard Floyd, and not through attrition, but through injury, they lost Cam Akers, which is going to be a massive blow to that offense and put even more on Matt Stafford to be a better quarterback than he is. So, like I said, he's got a cannon, but his accuracy sucks. So they drafted Tutu Atwell, who is another nice receiver. I don't know how good he's going to be, but they don't really need receiving help. They're pretty good there. The one guy that, as I was running through it, Jake Funk from Maryland, 7th round running back. Now that Cam Akers is gone, this could be a kid that comes in and makes a little bit of noise in a very, very thin running back room. So Jake Funk, and it's just a fun name to say. It goes perfect with disco. But yeah, excited to see. Like, it would be cool to see one of those late round guys really come in and just explode. That's always fun to see. So I don't know if Matt Stafford's going to be able to stand up in LA. I don't know if he's going to be able to handle that spotlight. I mean, Detroit, you could disappear. It's not a big deal. If he starts throwing interceptions like he was there, does he just crumble? Does he just fall apart? I don't know. And I don't know if there's going to be a second dimension to this offense without Cam Akers there. So there's a lot of stuff on the offense that I don't like. And also, can that defense be as good as it was last year? I don't know that answer either. I mean, it's hard to maintain a defense that executes at that high of a level. So those are my questions for it. But so next, 49ers. So they haven't lost anybody. They kind of just re-signed all of their high-level talent, which is really good. They drafted Trey Lance, which to me is a huge, huge question mark. Traded up, got rid of the next 2 first-round picks that they had to get another quarterback that's extremely, extremely shy on starts in college. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can actually do and when he takes over. And then I like the Trey Sermon addition there in the draft as well. Nice running back. They seem to do good with these types of running backs. Like, he's somebody that's going to come in there and be a Mozart or a Carlos Hyde, Frank Gore. Like, not a huge name, but they just tend to succeed in San Francisco. So I really like that. With the 49ers, you know, when's Trey Lance going to take over? And is that going to cause like a big distraction there? Is Jimmy G going to be looking over his shoulder, always worrying? Is it going to cause that kind of friction in San Francisco, especially if Jimmy G starts playing questionable or bad? How long do they stick with him? Does it cause any kind of divide in the locker room? You've got all these types of things. And then all the players that got injured last year, are they going to be able to bounce back and be really good? I don't really know if they can, because it was a lot of knee injuries. It was a lot of ACLs and bad injuries that take a little while to rehab from. So can they get up to speed quick enough to maintain the chase that's going to be in this division? Because it's going to be tight. And then last, the Seahawks, their big addition, Gerald Everett, which is not a big addition, but it's the biggest addition that they made. They didn't draft anyone because they didn't have any draft picks again. So nothing that really stood out to you on the defense or the additions. They didn't really lose anybody either, which is kind of good. They're just kind of the same team they were last year. Which wasn't a bad team, but now everybody's a year older. Russell Wilson's gotten hit a lot. If he starts getting hit a lot again, does this whole drama thing resurface with him? Does that come back to light and start distracting from the team? That's hard to say. Can the defense step up? Are they going to get owned like they did last year? And what's the Jamal Adams stuff is starting to kind of come back with the contract negotiations and all this stuff. He's at training camp, but if he doesn't get signed, are we going to see the drama that he had in New York? And what's that going to do to the defense? So those are the big questions for me. I think Russell Wilson, he's getting older. He gets hit a lot. It's time that a running quarterback starts slowing down when they're in their early to mid 30s. They can't just keep running like that. He's got great wide receivers, but he's a running quarterback by trade. So if he can't do that and he keeps getting blasted, is that offense going to be functioning like we've seen for the last 5 years? So, so that's to be seen. So that's my rundown. Those are the things that stood out to me that I liked. That so with that, my records. All right. So we'll go 4-1.
Let me write this down.
Write this down. It is also recording. So let's make some waves here. Let's make some waves. So 4th place, Seattle at 7-10. I just all those things coming together. The age, the not adding or drafting anybody great in a defense that's that difficult. It's one of those, like, if you're not growing, then you're dying. And I feel like this team they've got some talent, but everybody else added bigger pieces. So, so 3rd place, kind of like last year, I'm sticking with the Rams because I don't have any faith in Matt Stafford. So I think that's going to blow up in their face. So I have them coming in at 9-8. We'll see how that plays out. 2nd place, 49ers. I think the leadership in San Francisco and the coaches in San Francisco are good enough to get a winning team out of all that talent that they do have coming back. I don't know about Trey Lance, but even when he comes in, he's going to throw some teams off with his skill set and what he can do. If Jimmy G is what John thought he was, they're going to win some games. I mean, they were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, so that team is still very talented. And in first place, I'm sticking with it until I'm wrong.
What was your number for the 49ers?
49ers 10-7.
10-7, okay.
And then Arizona, I have finally winning the division at 11-6. Kyler's going to put it all together. Rondell Moore, Hopkins, the defense got much, much better. I think they improved the most, and they added the most talent, and I think it's going to finally show this year. We saw glimpses of it last year. They went on some nice runs, and then they lost to some teams that they shouldn't have lost to. So 3rd year for Kyler, great weapons on the offense. The defense is better, and I have them winning by 1 game at 11-6.
So the good thing is we're not going to match. So
No, we are 100% not going to match.
Yeah. So you want to go, John?
I will. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to put records with it. I kind of went through their schedules real quick. It's so, Joe, I agree with you on a lot of stuff. I don't agree that Arizona got better. I mean, J.J. Watt's hamstring, here we go already. Chandler Jones wants a trade already. You got Simmons and Collins, 2 very young linebackers. You got Marcus Golden with him. He's been around a little while. I love Budda Baker, their free safety. Malcolm Butler, probably an upgrade from last year. I don't trust Kyler Murray. Their running game is suspect.
Yep.
So I mean, what, Chase Edmonds and James Conner? Chase Edmonds has never ran over 400 yards, I think. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's going to need a running game unless he's going to run all the time. I don't like A.J. Green. I think he's old. I think he showed that last year. Hopkins has even talked about potentially sitting out. Now, I know we're going with what we're going with right now. I'm not a big – I'm a much bigger Kirk fan than A.J. Green. Rondell Moore, I mean, he's a slot guy. He's like 5'6", isn't he? 5'7". He's a small dude.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I mean, he may be like the Julian Edelman that runs around when Murray's getting chased around. So, again, this is a very tough conference to pick. I mean, a very tough division to pick. But I got Arizona last. I got them so it's 17 games. I get them at 7-10.
Wow.
I don't see their defense holding up. I just don't. I have a feeling I don't think Watt's going to make it through the season. And I'm telling you right now, if Chandler Jones doesn't want to play, man, that's a huge hit right there that they're going to have on their D with 0 pass rush. And I do not trust their running game. They to me they got a lot worse. So there we go there. Now, my next team up. You talked about Seattle. There's no way I see a Russell Wilson team only winning 7 games. He went 12-4 last year. The offense is still the same. Let's hope their O-line got better. They re-signed Chris Carson. I mean, the guy's only averaging 1,200 yards a season. So they get the running game. Yep, he gets sacked a lot. But my God, in 8 years, he's thrown for 33,000 yards. They're going to put points up on the board. Their defense, you kind of look at their D, and Bobby Wagner's been there forever.
It's not the Legion of Boom.
But I will say their safeties are the Legion of Boom. You got Adams, which I know he's kind of in a contract thing, and Quadri Diggs. I think they got the 2 best safeties in the division. They probably need a little bit of pass rush, which they brought in Carlos Dunlap, so maybe he'll put some pressure on. I know he didn't with Cincinnati. But I'm gonna put Seattle at 10 wins. I'm gonna say they're gonna be at 10-7 next year, or this coming season. So I got them at 3rd. So next, this is where I had a flip flop, and I had to go with who I thought had the better offense. So at number 2, I'm going to say the Rams. I know you don't like Stafford, you don't trust him. The guy's only thrown for 45,000 yards on probably one of the worst franchises in NFL history. Mm-hmm. I can't blame a lot on that, although he has had some pretty good receivers in that time, but no running game ever. They're kind of running into the same thing now that Cam Akers went down. We'll see how Darrell Henderson does. I love the name Jake Funk. I've seen that too. Wide receivers, Deshaun Jackson may have a couple big games, but Woods and Kupp are the 2 main targets there, and Higbee's a pretty damn good tight end. And their defense is just amazing, absolutely amazing. Can they be better than last year? Probably not. It's funny. A lot of the fantasy talk shows, they're like, who's the number 1 D? You just never know. You just absolutely never know. This is kind of the same here. So, all the talent in the world, they got a great pass rush. They got a great secondary. I'm going to say 11-6 for the Rams. And I'm also going to say something here at the very end. So San Francisco, healthy San Francisco 2 years ago went to the Super Bowl, right? So again, this is if everybody's healthy. Deebo Samuel's back. You kind of brought it up. Are they going to be the same? They got probably the 2nd or 3rd best tight end in the game. You got Sanu as your 3rd, not a big deal, but you got Ayuk and Samuel back. Monster as their running back and Trey Sermon backing them up. Not a bad little combo. Phenomenal offensive line, and that team uses a fullback, which I absolutely love with what Juszczyk. Love that. Yeah. And Jimmy G. Yeah, he's been unhealthy 3 out of 4 years there. The 1 year he was healthy, he went to a Super Bowl. So I'm going to assume right now he's going to stay healthy. And quite honestly, I think drafting Trey Lance is going to up his game because he has – sorry, Jim, if I took your thunder.
I don't even have to talk.
He has to absolutely step it up to keep his job because think about it. He needs another contract now. He needs to prove to everybody, A, he can stay healthy, and B, he can win. So whether or not San Fran moves away from him after this year, it's irrelevant. Jimmy G's going to step up. You'll probably see. I'm not going to say 40 touchdowns because I think they're going to run the. I think they're going to run the ball a lot, but probably mid-30s. I'll say mid-30s, and then their D. I mean, you get D4 in the end. You get Nick Bosa looking like he's coming back. Kinlaw, Armstead, that line, Greenlaw. Fred Warner, they just signed to a big deal. So, I mean, their defense is absolutely stout. I am going to say 12-5 because I think that division is going to be so freaking hard. And I'm going to call it. San Francisco's going to win a division. Rams and Seahawks will be the wild cards. That's my prediction right there.
Wow. That's so I cannot believe.
Are we exact?
I'm going to show you my paper because I actually write it on paper. I'm old school.
To a T?
We are neck and neck on all of it. On all of it. I mean, it's unbelievable.
That's so fun.
so
and I wasn't even going to put records, but I figured I looked at the schedules real quick and I figured I'd look.
I went through who they were playing, who every team was playing, who I thought was going to win which game. And the exact opposite of Joe. So I have fourth place.
How can I be on a show with two guys that are so wrong?
I mean, now we're gonna know. Now we're gonna know. Who's really in line with what they're talking about. So Arizona. I mean, I agree. I think the running situation is a problem. I'm not a big believer in Murray either. I have them coming in fourth. I have them at 6-11. So John had them at 7-10. I got them at 6-11. I have them one game worse than you. And I looked up and down their lineup, up and down their schedule, trying to see who I thought they could really beat. I mean, they have some tough games in there. There's a couple of games I think that are gimmies, but I also am concerned with some of DeAndre's comments. I mean, they are one of the lowest, if not the lowest, vaccinated rated team. Yep. And with the NFL talking about just they're going to forfeit games if they have outbreaks and they can't play, and if that could come into play here too, where they may forfeit some games. So, yeah, I mean it is all right. They won 8-8 last year. I have them coming in last 6-11. So that's really going to be interesting to see. Is Joe has them at 11-6. I got them at 6-11. So where do they really finish? Are they going to be,
They're going to finish at 7-10, like I said.
Right where you are. Right where you are. Good. So third place, I have Seattle. I agree. I think the same thing with Russell Wilson getting older. Looked at who they were playing here. They go from 12-4. I think they take a couple of steps backwards. I saw what happened last year. Even though they only lost 4 games last year, he did get beat up. I didn't think they looked dominant in many games, even though I love the way Wilson throws that deep ball. I got them finishing third, 9-8. So I think John had 10-7. I got 9-8.
Yeah, sorry.
10-7. So 9-8. We're off by 1 on that one. Second place, I went with Rams. So Rams were 10-6, and I think they kind of, with Akers going down, they got Henderson. Who knows who's really going to step up at the receiver? But I do think it is Stafford's time, right? I mean, so yeah, he struggled in Detroit, couldn't get it done. This is his shot, right? This is his time. He's got Woods and Kupp and Deshaun and Higbee. He's got to do it now. It's now or never for him. So I think that gets him a couple extra wins this year. And they still got Donald on the defense, and the defense was, tough last year. I got them going 10-7, almost the same as last year. Last year 10-6. I got them 10-7, second place. And again, I had 10-7. What do you have?
11-6.
Jesus. So, did we talk before this? Absolutely not. We did not.
Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. We did not discuss who we were picking before.
That's why I can't.
As you can tell by Joe's reaction.
I feel like this is collusion. This is why I was sitting in the green room by myself for so long before the two of you popped in. You were over there like, all right, John, wait until right before the show's supposed to start to come in so Joe doesn't know that we were having this discussion off air.
So the best is yet to come here. So obviously, I have San Francisco, and I thought the same thing. Just like what Aaron Rodgers did last year, MVP year when they drafted Love. So here comes Lance, Jimmy G, again, banking on him being healthy all year.
Yeah.
This is his year. He has to step up. He has to show, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I want to play. I'm the starter of the 49ers, and I have them at 12-5. Exactly what you said. I can't believe it. 12-5. They win the division. I mean, how is you and I are one game apart on 3 teams and exactly the same on the first place. Incredible. There must be an East Coast thing.
This is like the sports version of Step Brothers playing out right now. Did we just become best friends?
Yes.
Did we just
12-5?
You want to go do karate in the garage?
Can we build bunk beds?
Yeah. I mean, incredible.
No
I mean, Joe,
tools.
you had them at 10-7, so you had them doing well. But yeah, your Arizona and ours total opposites, and same thing with Seattle. But
yeah,
that's
we'll
it.
See. Arizona's going to be. Yeah, I mean, I did go completely off sides with you, and I did try to spice it up a little bit, but I do think I don't know if the records will be exactly there, but I think it'll play out somewhere close to that. But I think this division is going to be tough, no matter what. Like I don't think I mean, I know with your guys' records, probably that's awesome.
Love it.
With what you guys predicted, I would say it would be kind of shocking, but I mean, if whoever ends up in first, I'm not going to be shocked in this division. Like, if you told me the Texans win the AFC South, probably done watching football. But this division, whoever wins it, I think has every right to legitimately have won that division, right? I mean, I know you guys are way off on Arizona, but the level of talent that's on that team could still win that division.
I mean, yeah, and quite honestly, will Jimmy G stay healthy? We don't know.
That's
a lot depends on the Rams running game, which Henderson had almost a little bit over 600 last year. So I mean, he's pushed it, but I mean, Arizona's running game, they don't have one. They just, to me, they don't have one.
Yeah.
So now, what are they going to do the whole time?
Load up the box.
Exactly.
Yep.
Agree, Alex. Best division in football.
I think so too.
Hands down. I think it's the hardest one, the most down. And what's crazy is, so normally when you look at division winners, and I was thinking about this earlier when I was going over my picks again, because I almost flip-flop San Francisco and the Rams, but I just couldn't. But think about it. The best quarterback, we're predicting, like Joe's predicting him last, and we're predicting him third. Because I think Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in this division. I just think Kyler Murray, it's not there yet. Stafford
this is year 3 for him, so it's kind of like
it is. But look at the defenses that he's playing, man. He's playing the Rams twice, the Niners twice. I mean, hold on a second. He's playing the Rams. Yeah. I mean, they open up against Tennessee. They play Green Bay. Let's see, they play Chicago's D. Okay, Dallas. You know what I mean? But, I mean, they get some tough teams they have to play twice. And I mean, honestly, would it surprise anybody if this whole division split?
No.
That's what, honestly, most of mine came down to is a lot of them, I saw the home team
winning.
And I expect
it wouldn't shock me. I mean, it truly wouldn't shock me, but I think someone's going to pull ahead. Sooner or later, someone's going to pull ahead. Arizona got a tough one, though. You start looking at, they play Cleveland.
Right. Look at the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 6 games.
They could be 1-5.
I got them beating Jacksonville only. Exactly.
Same
and
here.
Then I have them beating Houston.
Who else
lose to Green Bay.
Who's in the top 5?
So they
Tennessee, Minnesota, Jacksonville, the Rams, San Francisco, and Cleveland. That's a tough first 6 games.
Yeah,
they can literally go.
They should be able to beat Minnesota and Jacksonville.
I mean, Minnesota's a good
Minnesota's
team,
pretty tough.
Yeah.
Running back, receivers.
Much better defense. Their wide receivers are there. Delvin Cook.
Jefferson.
Do you trust Kirk Cousins?
I trust Kirk Cousins as much as I trust Kyler Murray.
Okay, so it's a toss-up.
Right.
It is. And I think Minnesota has a much better running game. I mean, how are they going to stop Delvin Cook?
Right.
How's anybody going to stop Delvin Cook? Never mind just Arizona. But and I'm telling you, if Watt is unhealthy to start the season and Jones, whatever holds out for a trade, that defense is going to crumble.
Right. Yeah, that's going to change a lot of things. If you lose the 2 key players on the defensive line, then that's asking a lot. So, I mean, we're still early out. This is obvious. It's hard to predict, but
that's right.
True. Trust me, I was cheering like crazy for that one.
The Vikings had resilience to win that game. Trevor Lawrence Simmons, resilience.
That shows you. What wasn't it? What's his name? Mike. What's his name? The quarterback, freckly faced kid.
What team?
Jacksonville.
Mike.
Help me out here.
Mike.
Jacksonville quarterback.
Yeah.
Minshew.
No, not Minshew. The oh my God.
Bortles. Mark Brunell.
Travis will jump in here in a second. I could see his face and I can't think of his name. I cannot believe this.
What
Mike.
year? What year?
No, again in that game.
Mike Smith? No. I'm kidding. I don't know.
Anyway.
So real quick, I did look up the over-under for wins for all 4 teams in this division.
Yeah.
And 3 out of the 4 are 10 wins. And Arizona is 8.
Yeah.
So even the over-under on that. So if, you could bet
Mike
the
Glennon.
over then. Bet the
Mike
over.
Glennon.
Right.
Mike Glennon. Okay.
Mike Glennon. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
San
he was the
Fran,
one who
the
lost it,
over-under is 10.5. Rams are 10.5. Seattle's 10. The Arizona is 8.
Okay, so I guess it's me against the world.
Yeah.
So, I remember a spry young Jets fan back in December saying the Jets would take Zach Wilson too, and everybody said you're crazy. Mm-hmm. Who's
Let's
crazy
see.
now?
You might be starting a trend.
Yeah, might be onto something.
And you may hope that it didn't happen. You just don't know yet.
That's also true.
That's true.
That's also true.
But all you said was they were going to pick him. You didn't say anything.
You didn't say if he was going to be any good, so I'm not going to hold that against you, Joe. Not going to hold that against you.
I actually did say he was going to be better than Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if I meant that with conviction, but I did think he was going to be very good.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So we'll wrap it up with that. We'll be back on Thursday to talk AFC West. I know Alex is going to be sitting on pins and needles, waiting for that show to come around, find out where his Chargers are going to land in the pecking order. We'll see if the Raiders are going to overtake them there. I can't even say that seriously. Oh God, I hate the Raiders. Anyway. So please come back Thursday. I'm not going to tell you what place the Raiders are coming in, but they're coming in a place. And we'll see we'll talk about what Herbie's got moving forward. We'll see if they're going to be able to compete with Kansas City. I'm pretty sure we know how that one's going to shake out, but I like to make crazy calls. So we'll see. I got to look at everything, break it all down. But yeah, come back again on Thursday and we'll continue through our rotation around the NFL. Also, Travis did reach out to me about getting in the fantasy league. If you guys want to join up, please drop a comment, drop it on the Facebook page, wherever you want. Let me know. Give me a good email address, and I'll shoot you guys an invite to that. Travis, I will get the invite out to you. I just haven't had time to do it, but you do have a spot. So there's 4 more spots remaining. If you want in, let me know, or let one of us know with an email address, and we'll get you into it. And we'll draft right before the season starts, so we have plenty of time. So with that, please, again, hit that subscribe button. Let's keep growing. Let's keep getting more people in this little running dialogue over here to argue with. And until then, have a great couple days, and we will see you very, very soon. For John, for Jim, I'm Joe. Peace out.